Well, Highrock MetroWest started in 2017, and as with any Highrock church, like when we're forming, we're asking ourselves, like, who are we as a church? In the early days, we were asking ourselves, who are we as a church, and what do we care about, and what does our community care about? And we kept hearing from people in the community in Needham and around, the surrounding towns, that they're concerned about the mental health of teenagers. So we started hearing about this, and people in our church were saying, yeah, we're struggling with similar things too. And so it really became a formative conversation, mental health for teenagers. So we said, okay, this is the need that we have in our own congregation. We see it in the community, we hear it, this is important to people, and we know and we believe that God cares about this too. So maybe there's something that we can do to bless our community, to draw attention to the need and to put resources into solving some of those challenges. So this became this very central conversation for us. We said, what are we going to do to help? And rather than trying to come up with our own solution to like mental health issues, we said, who's doing good work already? There's got to be somebody who's doing good work. And lo and behold, we found many resources, but a lot of them are kind of under the radar. So the Needham Youth and Family Services was the first one that first year. We said, what are you guys doing for mental health? And they have some wonderful programs. And we said, well, let's just raise as much money as we can and dump it into those programs and support that good work and make as many connections as we can. So that's what we did the first year. We didn't know how many people would show up. We didn't know what it was going to be like, but we had a blast. I think it was 18 degrees that day, but blue skies. And we had about 250 participants come out to that first Jog for Joy. And we raised around $10,000, and we gave that to the Needham Youth and Family Services to help their mental health first aid course be free to the public for several years. Then the pandemic hit, and in so many ways things got worse, and families that were already struggling, I think, found it even more challenging. Families that had been doing just fine suddenly found themselves not doing so well. And the conversation, fortunately, was elevated about mental health needs, but the mental health care system really has buckled under the pressure. So we know the need is so great, and it was so exciting to have more Highrock churches join in MetroWest's efforts to do this. So that second year that we did it all virtual, so there wasn't a big gathering, there wasn't a big party, which was a loss in some sense. But on the other hand, we had people join the Jog for Joy effort from Chile, from Germany, from Chicago, I think we had 7 or 8 states where people were participating from a distance, and we gave away tens of thousands of dollars that year to even more resources, some that represent the other congregations, their geographical locations, but then a national organization that's based out of Waltham that is serving people and helping families deal with their crises all over the world. I see God at work in the Jog for Joy in a lot of ways, and I'll just mention a few. One way is that as the conversation about mental health comes to the forefront of our life as Highrock and outside of Highrock, it's unifying people, it's uniting people, and it's bringing people who felt isolated, who felt like they were alone in their struggles. It's bringing them into community in a way that I think is profoundly spiritual. People who are convinced that they are alone, finding out that they are a part of a community is a transformative experience that I absolutely see and hear and experience God in that. People finding hope in the community that's around them and that's journeying with them is it's a place where God shows up so clearly to me. This is a place where I've seen really beautiful conversations about things that matter to people deeply, because it's where we see eye to eye. We can see when people are struggling and that they need to become healthy and that it's good for them. And so people who have been pushed away by the church, or people who have pushed the church away, whatever the cause for why they feel distant from God, this has been a place where I've seen doors opened to conversation. That has been life-changing for people, to just know that we're having the conversation, to feel invited into this. It's been really beautiful to see connections made and boundaries crossed. I see God leading us into relationships that break boundaries. Inside of our church, outside of our church, beyond the walls of our gatherings. People are coming together to talk, to experience, to share, and to point each other towards hope. And ultimately, that's my hope, and that's the church's hope, and that's God shining a light into a challenging and dark conversation. December is dark, and that's why we do the jog. It's a little bit of light, and I'm so excited to see what God does this year. And it's going to be different. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cold, but I'm just so excited to see everybody come out for the Jog for Joy.